first I thought Tank was just going to beat him in like 5 or 6 rounds. I don't know. We have to see now. I got caught up with the hype.
Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do.
Left wondering, are we going to get a rematch with this? Which I wouldn't hate, but I don't know if there's like a big demand for it.
Boxing icon Mike Tyson advised Gervonta Tank Davis to reconsider a rematch with Lamont Roach. Tyson acknowledged Davis's strength, but also emphasized that Roach is a tough competitor who presents significant challenges.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that.
When asked if he and Gervonta Davis were alike, Mike Tyson jokingly replied that their only similarity might be their legal issues. He downplayed the idea, clarifying that aside from their shared legal troubles, their fighting styles and careers are completely different. Tyson's response highlights his belief that each boxer has followed their own distinct path in the sport.
Davis, a lot of people say he reminds you of them. Does he remind you of yourself?
I don't know. Thank you. I don't know. Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no.
In response to comparisons with Mike Tyson, Gervonta Davis acknowledged Tyson's legendary power and skills, but confidently stated that he offers the whole package. He expressed that he has more to bring to the table as a fighter, reflecting his belief in his all-around abilities and his confidence in offering more than just knockout power.
I don't really be trying. I like to hit the face.
What was Mike Tyson?
He was a brawler.
Brawl means more than one person. So he knocked people out real quick. You knock people out real quick.
Yeah, but I can knock you out like...
So you saying that you can knock him out faster than Mike Tyson, probably, if it was a challenge?
Mike Tyson got power and skills. I feel as though like I have like the whole package.
After the controversial draw with Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis made it clear that he wanted a rematch. He felt that another fight would allow him to demonstrate his true abilities, implying that the first fight didn't accurately show his full potential. His eagerness for a second bout demonstrates his determination to prove himself in the lightweight division.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, you know, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Any questions?
Okay.
Some critics speculate that Gervonta Davis may try to avoid a rematch with Lamont Roach, citing his history of not taking on the most challenging fights. For instance, they point out that he never faced Ryan Garcia again, leading them to question whether Davis is willing to face tough competitors. This raises doubts about his willingness to risk his undefeated record and reputation against a dangerous opponent.
We will never see that fight happen again. It just will not happen. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't like hard fights. It's that simple. We've seen it over and over. He fought a Ryan Garcia drained. He fought a very inexperienced Rolly Romero. He will not fight Devin Haney. He will not fight Shakur. He will not fight Pitbull Cruz again. He will not fight Lamont Roach again. He will not fight Tefimo. He will not fight Inoue. He will not fight those guys. That's just not who Tank is.
Gervonta Davis shared his candid thoughts, suggesting that Mike Tyson could tarnish his legacy by engaging in exhibition matches with internet celebrities like Jake Paul.
Following the Tyson fight, tell us, exactly why expound on that.
Why wouldn't you even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
John. Let's talk about retire. What's next for you? Hypothetically, if you are retiring, what's next for you? Are you going to be doing entrepreneurial stuff, training? Where can we see Tank in the next 3 to 5?
Yeah, I'd probably be more building my real estate portfolio and just trying to separate myself from the limelight.
Do you feel like it's harder to find a fight like you wanted years ago now that these guys are avoiding you now?
Bro, I don't even think about that stuff like that.
What good skills?
Me and fighters is, y'all fail to realize, me and fighters are different. We're way different. I don't look at it, I don't care about belts and I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about none of that.
You worry about taking out the company?
Yeah, I worry about getting my money and getting out.
Mike Tyson has praised Gervonta Davis for his talent and potential, believing that with the right choices and consistent effort, Davis could achieve legendary status. However, Tyson also cautioned that Davis must be careful with his decisions, both in and out of the ring. This advice indicates that Tyson sees great potential in Davis, but also acknowledges the risks that could hinder his career.
I like to hit the face.
What was Mike Tyson?
He was a brawler.
Brawl means more than one person. So he knocked people out real quick. You knock people out real quick.
Yeah, but I can knock you out like...
So you saying that you can knock him out faster than Mike Tyson, probably, if it was a challenge?
Mike Tyson got power and skills. I feel as though like I have like the whole package.
The fight between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis differed from Davis's usual bouts, where he often wins by knockout. Roach, however, showcased impressive skill and endurance, lasting all 12 rounds and resulting in a controversial draw. This outcome highlighted Roach's strength and raised questions about how Davis performs against top-tier opponents.
Was Lamont Roach robbed in this fight? What do y'all think? We're seeing a lot of the comments. People seem to think he was. He did outland Tank Davis. But was it by enough to get that decision? What do you think? Here's one of the punches he threw at Tank Davis right here. You can see the effect. Tank Davis did not look like normal Tank Davis tonight. You could see Lamont applying the pressure all night, especially around that 6th round area where you usually see Tank Davis take off. I'll tell you what, it's one of the first fights I've paid for that we got our money's worth. What an ending, you know. So a majority draw was the decision, but what do y'all think, guys? Do you think Lamont got cheated out of this decision, or do you think the right call was a draw? It was a wild night. And then the knee, right? The knee was bizarre. Why did Gervonta Davis take a knee? That was strange to me. It came out of nowhere. He said it had something to do with something in his hair or whatnot. That was weird. Lamont thinks he won the fight. I think we're definitely going to get a rematch, but I want to ask the people out there, what do you think? Was Lamont robbed tonight? Let me know in the comments.
Devin Haney, another top lightweight boxer, weighed in on the Roach versus Davis fight, stating that he always knew Roach had great skill and personally felt Roach deserved to win. Haney's comments add to the ongoing debate about the fight's outcome and underline Roach's respect in the lightweight division.
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, you know, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes, and yeah.
The controversial draw between Roach and Davis, marked by disputed decisions, has sparked widespread calls for a rematch. Fans, analysts, and fellow fighters are eager for a second fight to definitively determine the superior boxer. The controversy surrounding the first fight has made this rematch one of the most highly anticipated in boxing.
Oh, fight fans, did you catch that Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach bout? Talk about controversy. The judges called it a draw. But let's be real, a lot of people think Roach got robbed. Both fighters brought their A game, showing off some serious skills in the ring. Roach was on fire, landing clean shots and outworking Tank in several rounds. But Tank had his moments too, showcasing that explosive power we all know. But Tank going on one knee or being wobbled didn't swing it toward Roach. I don't know about that, but either way, now everyone's buzzing about an upcoming rematch. I mean, who wouldn't want to see these two go at it again? What's your take? Did Roach deserve the W, or was the draw fair? Drop your thoughts below and let's break down this fight.
Boxing analyst Luke Thomas has suggested that Gervonta Davis may be considering retirement after completing the remaining 3 fights in his contract. If this is the case, a rematch with Lamont Roach may not happen, leaving fans wondering if they will ever witness a second bout between the two.
There is no call out. He doesn't do it. Now we're left wondering, are we going to get a rematch with this? Which I wouldn't hate, but I don't know if there's like a big demand for it. Tank has said prior to this night that like all of this is, you know, he's got 3 fights left. This would have been one of them. So that would have been at least with 2 more essentially this year if he can squeeze them in, he said. It was supposed to be against Tank and Shakur Stevenson. Where are we with that now? What does this do to that? I genuinely don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. I don't know what PBC is going to... Dude, PBC has had a bit of a rough run of it. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to pile on their difficulties, but like they lost Canelo or whatever the fuck Canelo's doing. Then they still have Gervonta. He's still a big star. He's still, I'm sure this sold well. And again, it sold well at the gate. So that's still great. But they're hoping to like build off of this. They didn't get it. They were trying to get something going with Tim Tszyu. That bottomed out last year. They wanted to get Errol Spence going. That didn't work.
Many doubt whether Gervonta Davis will follow through with a rematch against Lamont Roach, especially since there are other lucrative fights available to him. Critics argue that Davis needs to prove himself by facing tougher opponents. There was also controversy surrounding Davis's claim that hair gel affected his performance, but his hairstylist later contradicted his excuse, stating that his hair was done the day before the fight.
We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter, because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against a Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else, and that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was gonna look at that and be like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
George Kambosos didn't hold back when discussing Gervonta Davis's recent fight against Lamont Roach. Kambosos praised Roach for his impressive skills and toughness, especially noting that Roach managed to surprise Tank, a feat few fighters have been able to accomplish.
On the weekend, what did you make of the controversy in that one?
Look, I had just finished my recovery session, so I was pretty docile and relaxed, and then the fight, especially at the start of it, wasn't too thrilling and too action-packed, so I was starting to doze off a little bit, but I woke up a little bit more when obviously Lamont started giving him some work, and he looked good, man. I got to give respect to Lamont Roach. He proved a lot of guys wrong. I think he shocked Tank a lot with what he was able to bring, and again, we saw the controversy with the knee. To me, that's a knockdown. You can't just take a knee and decide to, go to your corner and get your face wiped. So, if that's a 10-8 round, Lamont wins the fight. So it's unfortunate, but that's the fight game. Hopefully they'll do it again and he gets paid, what he's worth.
Have you ever seen anything like that in boxing before? A guy sort of just voluntarily.
We've seen Floyd take a knee and be put on the count. We've seen Miguel Cotto, take a knee, obviously into his corner, be put on the count.
Despite the controversy, Gervonta Tank Davis now seems more determined than ever. Reports suggest he has reconsidered retirement and is now focused on securing a rematch with Roach. Many fans and analysts have noticed a shift in his mindset, as he appears more eager to return to the ring and prove himself. Tank's decision to pursue a rematch signifies a major shift in his career goals, emphasizing his desire to reclaim his dominance.
It looks like Tank was not playing about this rematch, man. He's looking to probably get back in the ring with Roach by the end of May. And as far as that retirement stuff, it looks like that's out the window as well.
Course of your plans for your future?
Yeah, it definitely changed my plans. It definitely changed my plans. I probably got like 4 more fights now, for sure.
But I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. As much as, we hate the fact that he had a draw, I think this was the best thing for Tank. You could just kind of see, even in the press conferences and everything like that, he was kind of forcing himself to be interested. And I only know one person that can bring his interest back. Calvin is the key, man. Calvin has known Tank since he was a child. Nobody knows Tank more than Cal, man. He's the only person that I believe that can bring the best out of Tank. But what do y'all think, man? What do you think Tank needs to do differently in his next fight so he can get back to doing stuff like this, man, at the end of his fights? Comment down below.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult made a bold prediction about the rematch, claiming that Lamont Roach will knock out Gervonta Davis in their second fight. He argued that Roach had already proven his ability to last all 12 rounds with Tank, which few fighters have managed. Showbiz believes Roach will be even more prepared this time and will ensure the fight doesn't go to the judges, dismissing Tank's previous excuse about grease in his eyes.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, don't, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bruh, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened to Roy.
While some believe Roach holds the advantage, boxing experts have analyzed what Tank must do to win the rematch. Many believe the main issue in Tank's first fight was a lack of focus. Even his coach admitted that his concentration was missing. If the rematch takes place, Tank will need to stay focused throughout the fight. His natural power and skills are unquestionable, but without better strategy and focus, he could face serious trouble against Roach in the second fight.
WBA set to order the Tank versus Roach rematch next. Who would I pick in the second fight? Well, the short answer is Tank. In rounds 4 to 6, when Tank was the one leading the dance, he was a lot more effective. You know, with the straight left hand, the body shot combinations, he wasn't just sitting up against the ropes like the first few rounds. He also kept landing the straight left hand, you know, sometimes doubling up on that left hand, and Roach would have an issue with the timing. He would then mix up the combinations to the body and then up top with the hook to the head. I thought Tank was going to swing the momentum in these 3 rounds, but then he started waiting again in the second half of the fight. And if Tank wants to make the rematch a high-paced war on the inside, he's going to get the better of Roach. You know, left hook up top, you know, good head movement, uppercut to the body. Again, left hand there by Tank, another left hand, right hook. I thought he was doing a lot better when exchanging. I mean, the issue with Tank, and not just this fight, but in general, is he always takes the first few rounds off. You know, he puts himself into a hole, relies on the big shot landing to win him the fight. So in a rematch, if he can impose himself on the front foot early, you know, land the power shots, especially the left hands and the body shots, I think he can slowly wear Roach down and potentially find a stoppage.
Before taking on Roach in a rematch, Tank is reportedly planning to fight another opponent first. This decision has sparked mixed reactions from fans and analysts. Some believe he wants to rebuild his confidence before facing Roach again, while others feel he is delaying what could be a very tough rematch.
Good fight. He had a cut, you know, busted lip. Rest in peace to Rafael Garcia. Did a great job with that cut. People say, oh, look, Floyd got a busted lip. He lost to Maidana. Rematch beat him even easier. So hopefully Tank does rematch Lamont Roach and we get that. He said that he might fight someone else before that, but hopefully we get at some point a Lamont Roach fight in the near future. You know what I mean? But you guys have to learn how to score a fight. People, and it's always people, because there's nothing like big league, big star boxing. It's just different. UFC, all that stuff is different. There's nothing that can compare to big boxing and big boxing events, period, on that bright stage. So everybody, you start seeing the influx of people who opine on boxing.
Following their fight, the tension between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach remains high. The two have continued their rivalry on social media, arguing over the rematch and the result of their initial fight. They have exchanged words online, with Roach insisting he should have won, while Tank defends his performance.
He like, forget that, let me take a knee. That's a knockdown. But either way, it looked like they may have an immediate rematch. Roach and Gervonta Tank Davis goes back and forth on X, and here's what they say. Which is, it seems to me that Okay, if the New York State Athletic Commission overturns the result of the fight, then yeah, it's an immediate rematch anyway. Like Lamont Roach said, you know, he has it in the contract. But if it remains a draw, it looks like Tank's still going to push for the rematch. And I'm hearing that, you know, the fight that they were going to have, which would delay this rematch, was a fight with Pitbull. You can argue that a rematch with Lamont Roach would be far bigger than a rematch with Pitbull. But let me know how you feel in the comments below. Showbiz adult.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates next time.